Now, quickly, Barrister Mbeseha, you someone who has dealt deeply on land um, land grabbing in Amazonia generally, and this is not the first case. We've also talked about series of village creation, illegitimate village creation, and we're seeing the chaos that this recent development is causing for Amazonians. In regards to this particular report, we'd like to get your thoughts, Barrister Mbeseha.
Well, once more, we find ourselves. We find lawyers talking for lower Ewonda, some talking for upper Ewonda, or both, or whatever thing they call it. But bottom line, this is the result of 1972 abolition of our institutions. Over the Ewonda land dispute lies something else. They granted land certificate to somebody and created him a chief, named his village, according to the records, Lower Ewonda, which the natives are contesting. Are they right? Maybe. Do you have any legal basis? I doubt. Because what they call land disputes in Cameroon, as of 1974, if you do not have a certificate of occupancy, those lands became national lands, and anybody could get a land certificate over it. And so, fast forward again, before the land ordinance, we have argued and seen here we have been so worried about the chieftaincy thing. And this message should go to our people of the so-called Northwest and Southwest, to the so-called Northwest and Southwest House of Chiefs. Who is the chief in Cameroon? Who is the chief in Cameroon? A chief in Cameroon is defined by their own law. Law number decree number 77245 of 15 July 1977. If you don't fall on that definition, you are not a chief. And that law, Article 4, permits the administration to carve any piece of land they want and create their own chiefs there. That's exactly what they have been doing in Fako. Is that decree a good decree? Certainly not. But it's part of the assimilation. Looking back at that decree, because you know the intention of the decree from what they call view, mindful. The mindful part of that decree tell us that that decree had nothing absolutely to do with Southern Cameroon, British Southern Cameroon. Because the site in the 1930 laws, that did not apply to us. The site ordinances that have existed in East Cameroon on chieftaincy, that did not apply to us. Remember, 1977 came after 1972, 5 years into the abolition of Southern Cameroon. Came out with all these laws. And what again I say is, I doubt whether our own brothers and sisters who hold themselves as chiefs over there or funds know what the whole thing is about. That law, that very law, Article 26, says that the chiefs, because there's no place they call fund, that the fund is the chief by that definition, shall be required to wear uniforms. They have not yet implemented that section, but they shall be required to wear uniforms. Is this new to you? Very, very new to us in Amazonia. But is it new to Yaoundé? Certainly not, because I think I've spoken this before on programs. If you go to Yaoundé, I at the post central, for those who are old enough, who know the old Minister of National Education, that became the Minister of Youth and Sports later on, you will find the statue of Chief Atangana, who is supposed to be the chief of the Ewonda people. His statue is standing there. This man is wearing a khaki, like a military guy. He's dressed like the Dio. Is it a mistake that they call their Dio chef de terre? No, they're super chiefs. That's why the Dio, anywhere, even at the so-called subdivision, is a super chief to the farm. He's a super chief to whoever is there calling himself first or second degree chief. You are a subject of the super of the law, decree number 7725 245 of 15 July 1977. And so you find people sitting in Boya there, wearing the gowns of members of the House of Chiefs. Same thing happened in Bamenda. They don't even know what the definition of the untitled is under this regime. You find people calling themselves chiefs who will say, go, don't go, protest against May 20th. It is a it is an indictment of the Anglophone, as we call it, as the British Southern Cameroonians. They are there clapping, begging that they should go and march. They should go and celebrate at their own funeral. And so there's a lot to be spoken about it. We shall say very honestly, I doubt if those people hold themselves out there as chiefs know these laws that govern them. That's why, as late as 2 days ago, you saw a prefect in Fako writing that the chiefs will come and march with their people. Is that new? Of course. What is different within that? The we could do the same. The prefect of Maneguba or Dongamantum could do the same. Because allows them to do that. Why? Because they are his subjects. They are his assistants. He pays them. And so, again, there's a larger context, there's a larger debate. This is all happening as a result of the 1972 complete assimilation of the Ambazonians. Were they chiefs in southern Cameroon before 92, before 1977? Of course. This decree does not say the chieftaincy started existing in 1977. So what became of the fund of Bali, the fund of Banso, the fund of Manko, the chief of Kumba? They did not exist. What was the status then? What was the decree? It was simply absorbed. And so, will you go out to challenge this decree? It is possible, but almost impossible to succeed where we are in Cameroon. Because their decrees are laws by the constitution. It's not a law passed by parliament, it's a decree. And by the constitution, decrees have the power of law until challenged. But who can challenge them? Only the presidency can challenge them. You cannot go there as an individual to challenge the law. And so again, the larger picture is our people who promote this system from their own, who are basically chiefs. They are the very chiefs that will come and carve out a village out of your own village, crown a new king over it. You will protest. But it is legally established by the law of 1977. And so the best thing we can do, which we have been insisting, is to fight. I had the explanation sometimes. In the southern Cameroons, were all chiefs the same? No. Were they paid? Of course. Who evaluated their payment? It was not the prime minister who said and said, pay the fund of Bali so much, pay the fund on so much, pay this so much. No. These were workers. What did they do? They were assistants to the administration. What was their duty to maintain that? And again, to show they were doing it, they were tax collectors. And what your pay was depended upon how many taxpayers you collected your taxes. If there were 100 taxpayers, if it is 100 francs per head, you got that. The chief who had only 5 taxpayers will get his own 5. The chief that has 20 will get for 20. But that did not make you the chief of 100 people, a lot over the chief of 5 people. And so the larger issue is, where are we today since 1972, which we are coming to talk about maybe sometimes during this program. May 20th is coming. What we are saying is bigger, it's the tip of the iceberg of what May 20 did to us. And so the people of Ewonda, you may protest. I'm sure that the existing, this will claim to be the rightful chiefs. What did they do? They rushed to the radio to complain. They rushed to the gendarmes to give bribe. Were they gendarmes then in Southern Cameroon? No. Was there law or order maintained? Of course. If you had that type of dispute in Southern Cameroon, you go to court. Not a special court. You go to court. Then the magistrate would sit in terms of court law. And then you be assisted by assessors in custom. It is by Kwere, it be on custom. It is by Bayenge, it will be on Bayang culture. If it is in Balikumba, it will be on Bali culture. That's how it functioned over there. Not what we see today being done to us. So poor people of Ewonda fight, but that, as the president said, the fight for Ambazonian is not the war in a county. It's not in a war in a local county. No, it's a small fight over Ewonda. It's not the end of the fight. It's a bigger fight that we must all prepare. It is happening in Ewonda today, will happen in Bangam tomorrow, will happen in Dub the next week. Over to you.
Well, Barrister Mbeseha, it's indeed very true that when it comes to land dispute, it has quite a number of webs, and we see now that it also has some historicity to it. And we can only hope for the best for the future, that instead of these spreading across Amazonia and more land grabbing scenarios occur, that instead Amazonia gains her independence to reclaim her entire territory and function the way it ought to.